Alright guys, it's December 26th and the ornaments aren't the only things that are dropping off the tree. It's the drop list. Welcome back, Gainers, to another incredible, exciting, fantastic episode of ComicGains! If you're new to the show, I'm Adam.
I'm Zach, and this Princess Roll has doing that princess wave, so you do it too. Bow down, respect, and of course there's Coco. Paw Coco.
Paw up. Forepaw?
Forepaw.
Alright guys, so we are back on this beautiful Monday after this great Christmas we just had. And you know what we did on the Christmas vacation? We found some new books for the drop list like we do every week on this great Monday. So yeah, we got a brand new drop list for you. Nice mixture of books. It kind of went all over the place on this one. It's pretty exciting. I think we had almost all the books on the list, so that's either exciting or not exciting, because I think some of these we might have bought on the high, maybe some of them we bought on the low. You never know how it goes. But there's always one thing that we do before we get into the drop list is, what are you doing, Zach?
Drink a special brew, and
we're back on the beer.
For a little bit. We got a guava mochi, Indian pale with guava and vanilla. And this is a great Notion brewery. And they always have great pictures on the cans.
Yeah. Kind of like the brewing companies out here in Washington where they make all these like cool sour beers, but they're all limited runs and they do these like really great artwork on the cans. And they're actually pretty hard to find. You can only find them at special bottle shops.
Yeah, I was surprised to find out or see it at this one place that we had to go to the other day.
Zach's drinking his Christmas present. Is it good? Is it a sour?
No, it's like a pale ale and 7%er. It's weird, but it's weirdly good kind of thing.
Weirdly good. I can get down with that.
A lot of flavors hitting my tongue.
Get down. You know what else I can get down with? If you use our code for Whatnot, you can get a free $15 off your first purchase if you're a brand new member. We got our code listed right down below there. So help support the show and come check us out on Whatnot. Use that free code for $15 off.
We'll love you for it.
It's awesome. All right. You know what else is awesome? This first book on the list, because it's from a galaxy far, far away, we have Solo, a Star Wars story, issue number 1. This is one of our favorite spec books of all time. And this came out in 2018, like right around the movie came out. And that's by Phil Noto and Robbie Thompson. And this is a really important book because it's first appearance of Lady Proxima. No, it's also first appearance of Dryden Voss. But more importantly, it's first appearance of Kiara, which is what we're all speculating on. And the great Emilia Clarke played her in the movie. And despite what everyone says, I absolutely love this movie. There's a few issues with it, but I think overall the movie flowed really well for me. I mean, the villain kind of turned out to be a little bit weaker than I wanted it to be, but you know, you got Darth Maul showing up at the end, you know, it kind of like saved the whole movie for me and a bunch of other cool stuff. I thought it was a cool movie overall, and I'm excited for it.
I thought the story was pretty solid all the way through.
I thought so too, you know.
The villain, like you said, he was the guy like, I got this cool little dagger, and then he dies really quick.
The acting was good, though.
His acting was good.
You know, the acting was really good in the movie. And, you know, I think there's a lot of stuff going on with Kiara. I mean, we've obviously seen Disney loves Emilia Clarke. You know, they're going to put her in Secret Invasion. We're still not sure which character she's going to be in that. She's obviously a Game of Thrones alumni. But just in, like, the comics right now, you've had Crimson Reign just ended, and now they started up with the Hidden Empire. All stories circled around Kiara as, like, the main character. And the whole story is very, like, Cloak and Dagger sort of stuff. So it leads very well after Andor is over. This could be a really good stepping off point for, like, the next series, because a lot of this stuff has to do, everybody's enjoying like this kind of back alley stuff going on with the Empire while it's like raising up. And you know, if she's a great character to lead that TV show. You know?
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
You know what I mean? And I always think Star Wars has done a good job like doubling down on projects that maybe weren't as successful when they first started and letting people love them years later. You know what I mean? So this is easily something they could pull off. But more importantly, we are speculating hard on this book. We have many, many copies of it. But how far has it fallen? Right lately, it might be a time for you guys to speculate on this book.
Yeah, I think it's the right time, man. Because prices a year ago for CGC 9.8 was $406. Crazy.
Whoa.
Yeah,
okay.
I think so. And then now it's $46.56.
Whoa.
That's a tenth of the value. I mean, if these numbers are right, which I researched, it should be right. Range 46.56 to as high as 589.99. Like, what the heck?
I think maybe we missed our window.
Yeah, I think we did. Average sales 210.08. I mean, $46 for how many first appearances?
Yeah.
Like 6? I don't know. I don't want to talk crap, but I think it would be an unwise decision not to buy it. I mean, Jesus, for that price, you buy 20 of them. And if it doesn't pop up, you got 20 lovely looking books.
Yeah, we were snatching up all the raw copies for like $10 a piece, like about a year or 2 years ago, trying to see how many we could get. And yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with Kiara. We haven't seen the last of her. They clearly want to do something with her. Speaking of another book you don't want to sleep on, which we don't have, is Sleepwalker #1 from 1991. I don't know why we don't have this book. I know we've had it, but we don't have it right now. This is done by Brett Belvin and Bob Budowski. And this is the first appearance of the great Sleepwalker. And also cameo of our good friend 8-Ball, who has done some reoccurring lately in some stuff. I think it was in Moon Knight recently in some comics, but cool character, giant 8-Ball for a head. I don't think there's any pun intended there. Maybe not. Maybe there is. But Sleepwalker is a fan favorite character from the 90s. I don't know. I remember when I was younger, there wasn't as many new #1 issues coming out around that time. So you got like your Darkhawk #1, your Sleepwalker #1. You thought that was extra special that you had like a first issue collector's edition item. So it was kind of cool. Like everyone liked it. You know, I don't know how great the stories were. They were okay. I'm leaning a little more towards the Darkhawk kind of guy. But, you know, Sleepwalker is definitely a cool character. There was a lot of speculation a year ago with some Legend toys were coming out with a new Sleepwalker version of him. So sometimes that leads to MCU spec. I think there's a really good chance he could show up in the MCU. They like using obscure characters and stuff. Yeah. But we haven't seen anything lately. And when that happens, books tend to drop a little bit down in price. I will say this is one of those like strange books that like does have value in a 9.8, even though it's on the cheaper side raw. It's kind of one of those books like same as Darkhawk. You can buy a bunch of them for like $10-$20 in high grade, but if you get them graded, they have a little bit of value. They have some decent return. Yeah. That return has dropped a little bit, and Zach will report on that for you.
Okay, so Sleepwalker #1, prices a year ago was $399.95. Now, $131.99. Ouch. Range 108 to $419.99. Average $239.38. It's 90s goodness. I'm saying that in the best way I can. I mean, I don't know enough about Sleepwalker to make a educated guess, but it's very volatile. I can tell you that. So sometimes it's good to get into a volatile book. Sometimes it's not. I would lean on not getting in on this book, but this character is also kind of interesting, I guess. So I don't know. Roll the dice. That's all I can say about this book. Literally roll the dice. Give it a shot.
Yeah, like I said, it's one of those strange books where you can buy a bunch of them for $10. And if you get it graded in a 9.8, even at $100, that's not a bad gamble.
Not bad.
You can double your money on that. So yeah, that's why it's never a bad book. I always look at it when they go in auctions. I'm like, oh, I'll bid on that, and they always go above $20 for some reason. You know, it's more than I want to spend on it, but if you can get one for under 20, that's not a bad raw in high grade. It's not bad. Not a bad thing. You know, also is not a bad thing, which I hold near and dear to my heart, is some KickAss. But I don't know. Hopefully, we're allowed to say that on our channel without getting whatever. We'll find out. But you got KickAss #1 from Icon Publishing Group in 2008. I don't think we've ever reported on this book before, which is pretty cool. We got John Romita Jr. and Mark Millar working on this book together back in 2008. But this is first appearance of the great Dave Lewinsky, also known as KickAss. And just an awesome book overall, an iconic book. This is kind of one of those movies that I watched, not even realizing it was a comic book when it came out, like all those years ago. That I was like, "Whoa, this is such a good movie! Such a good movie!" And Aaron Taylor Johnson killed it in that movie to help his career take off. Just a great book overall. There's a lot of good spin-offs that go on with this. You got Hit Girl goodness, Big Daddy, all the greats. But there's some buzz last year about a reboot being made for this. I don't know why they would do a reboot. It's just kind of one of those characters. I don't think you could beat like either of those actors that played those two characters. I don't know. Maybe you could do a TV show. I could see this in a cartoon. Like I could watch this in a cartoon. That might be kind of interesting. But it did jump up a little bit in price because of this buzz last year. I don't know why this isn't more of an expensive book as it is anyways. I feel like this should be like $100 book raw. It's not. But Zach will report on the gains or losses on this book as it is.
So, interesting. Very volatile. Very, very volatile book. Price a year ago was $199. Now $162.50. But the sale right before this one was $91. So it definitely has dropped. It's like all over the place. Range $91 to $249.95. Average sale $165.54. It's a Mark Millar story. Netflix bought up all the rights for it, I think, Mark Millar. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was on a Netflix show coming up in the next couple of years. And Netflix has been killing it lately. Netflix has been putting on a lot of good shows, spending lots of money. If you get it for the $91, which sounds like it's pretty rare to get it for that cheap, I get it. If not, just find it raw.
It's a pretty limited print run too, so yeah, I think it's like under 47,000 or around 47,000. So
that's not a lot.
Cool, yeah, it's a cool book. It's like either people really love it and they want to pay some money for it, or no one else is buying it. So, but I think a lot of people really like the story.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's a cool one. So. All right, it's not a lot of 90s on this. So next up, we got Morbius, the Living Vampire, #1 from 1992. I know how much everybody loves this book because it came in a poly bag. And Princess's copy is still in that poly bag. We got Ron Wagner and Len Kaminsky working on this book. And believe it or not, guys, this is first solo title featuring Morbius. And it's just crazy like how inexpensive this book is considering like his first appearance, ASM 101 is ridiculously expensive. And then if you even compare it to Blade's first solo title, which came out around the same time, is a really expensive book.
Yeah, very.
Yeah, which is just strange to me. And the only difference between the two is one successful movie and no successful movies. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but just a cool book in general. I think it's gotten a lot of hype. Last year, you got the Morbius movie coming out that didn't do too well. There's a lot of spec that they're going to bring in Danny Ketch and do the Midnight Suns storyline. There's a lot of speculation going on. This book has a lot to do with the Midnight Sun story. I think it's the third installment in the series. But I don't know. Nothing new has come from Ghost Rider. We didn't see anything coming up, and when that happens, books tend to drop back down in price, which might be a good time for you to pick up. This is kind of one of those ones sometimes you can find for really cheap, though. Really cheap. And it has got a little expensive in a 9.8 and then kind of went back down. And Zach will let you know how that's going, how it sounds on this book.
Yeah, so for CGC 9.8 a year ago, it was selling for about $140. Now it's selling for $32.
That was like a $1 bin book.
It was a $1 bin book. Now it's $32 to $250. Average sales is $110.59. I mean, it's 90s. $32. It might not be a bad spec to get. I mean, it's pretty cheap.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd probably rather try to go for the solo instead, but that's not a bad deal. But remember, it's 90s goodness, guys.
There's a lot of them.
There's a lot of 90s goodness out there.
There's a lot. It'd be cool to get all the Midnight Suns and 9.8s, though, wouldn't it? Mm-hmm. And then hang them on your wall.
Yeah, and burn it down.
No. All right. Last but definitely not least, we have Amazing Fantasy 15 finally making the list. No, not that Amazing Fantasy 15.
I don't want that.
This is the one from 2006. You got Pete Woods and Greg Pak, and this is the first appearance of Amadeus Cho, which is like the best name ever. Like, who comes up with a name for Hulk and they're like, Amadeus Cho? I love that name. It's a great name.
Amadeus.
Right? And then, he's considered the second smartest man in the Marvel Universe after Reed Richards, so pretty cool. And, later on he becomes Hulk and Totally Awesome Hulk, which is also a great title for a Hulk title. Just great all around. And then even after that becomes Brawn. So He has a great resume. He was on the Champions with Miles and you got Kamala Khan and the rest of the gang. You got Young Cyclops.
Was Silken?
And then he was on the Protectors with Silk.
Oh, that's
another great team. And just, this book has always been crazy expensive. The whole Amazing Fantasy run, that second series, is great series. A lot of good keys in that one. But there's a lot of speculation, with Mark Ruffalo getting older and not wanting to do Hulk. They're like, it's the obvious next person to go to. A fan favorite would be Amadeus Cho. And a lot of things transpired over the last year when this book was getting hot, and you got She-Hulk coming out. Now we've seen Scar in the MCU, so it's being less and less likely that we're going to see Amadeus Cho anytime soon. It seems more likely we're going to see the Young Avengers and not see the Champions. So I don't know. We may have to wait a little longer. Amadeus Cho might be a long game. It might be 5 years from now.
Could be.
Or 10 years from now that we see the Champions. I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna mess with Miles and the gang yet. Hopefully Kamala's still around, but when all that goes down. But this book has dropped a little bit. It was selling for way more than like $300 raw in a raw copy, and I don't know what's it selling for now in a 9.8. Jack?
So,
or what was it selling for in a 9.8?
Prices a year ago was $2,500 for a CTC 9.8. That's spendy. Now, $690.
Oh,
at least that's what the last sell was. Someone got a deal. Range $665 to $2,500. Average sales is $1,255.64. I think this is like, if you got the money, this is for sure a buy. Buy this. Buy this book. This is crazy, the ranges that it has got to. And it's going to get back up to that point again. Is this the lowest it's going to be? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I haven't heard anyone else talking that it should go lower. So I don't know. This might be the lowest it gets. I don't know.
Might be the lowest it gets. I would say if you got the cash, this is the #1 book to buy on this list. If you're going to buy the deal of the day, it's going to be Solo #1.
Solo.
That book's crazy cheap.
You got to make 46? Sure you shoot first when you buy that book, though.
46? Wow. Yeah. So I'm actually eyeing Amazing Fantasy 15 right now. So
after this list, right?
After this list.
Yeah, you never know when you do the drop list.
Look at that. I don't want to be a lying name, princess. What do you think about that?
They're always in competition for the same book, so.
Yeah. She just got on House of Secrets.
All right, another great drop list from the Gains crew. If you like hearing these as much as we like delivering them, all you got to do is hit that subscribe button, then you hit the like button, the notification bell, so you always know when new drop lists are coming down. And leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think about this drop list. I think it was a little bit more interesting and different than some of our ones in the past. Some brand new books to the list. KickAss, one of my favorites that I love right here. And yeah, anything else there?
You gotta share how you do that. So you have to have a hat. And you have to have a creature living in that hat 24/7, or else it's not a magic hat. You could have Coco. You just have to train it to never leave. And then at parties and everything, you'd be like, got your hat on? And you could be the bunny in the hat. You could be the magician bunny man. And that's all you do. It's like, it's okay.
Are you the bunny or the man?
You're the man with a bunny.
Oh, okay.
And that's how you get those magician gains.
I like them.
It's like, well,
illusions.
Illusion, Michael. Illusions.
Alright, guys. Until we see you next time, everyone enjoy your day after Christmas.
And get those magical Christmas gains.
Get up.